Enterprise Stories is the weekly radio program that shares the experiences of successful Nigerian entrepreneurs and provides expert analysis of their success factors. Enterprise Stories, business stories of success.
Welcome to Enterprise Stories. My name is Olawale Anufowoshe. This week, I will be sharing the story of a man who always knew he would be a businessman, coming from a family of entrepreneurs, but had to wait 10 years to make the dream come true. In our teaching segment, we will expose you to customer retention. This and more after the message from Stanbic IBTC.
When you are successful in your small business, as I am, people will always come to you. They want to know what you're doing differently, who your bankers are, and what kind of deals you are getting from them. Well, I'm happy to enjoy all the benefits of the SME Zero COT account from Stanbic IBTC Bank. My profit is up. But why? Because I get zero COT, unlimited turnover, no limit on check lodgement or withdrawals, free internet and telephone banking, as well as discount on training courses for small business owners. With special benefits like that on the SME Zero COT account from Stanbic IBTC Bank. Now, there is no reason why your business won't boom just like mine.
Stanbic IBTC Bank, moving forward.
Good day, listeners, and welcome once more to Enterprise Stories. My name is Victor Afolabi, and I'll be your faculty for today. Today, we'll be talking about customer retention or customer base management. A lot of organizations spend a lot of investment and a lot of time on business development, trying to get new customers, new clients, new people to patronize their business or their service. But people who have stayed long enough in business and matured organizations know that it's actually more cost effective to manage the customers you have, to manage the clients you have in a profitable manner, than to go through the long process of getting new clients. What is very prevalent in this part of the world is we spend a lot of investments getting new people, and we don't care about how they're managed after the first encounter or the first exposure to our company's product or services. And therefore today I will be teaching us about how to retain our customers and how to manage them profitably through the life cycle of our customers. And under this, we'll be looking at 4 key points. We'll be looking at how to reduce the rate of defection of our customers or clients, how to increase our customer relationship, how to enhance the growth of the share of wallet of the people in which are our current customers or clients, how to of course manage low activity on customers that we're making profit upon and those we're not making so much money on, and how to focus on high value customers and give them a memorable experience. In reducing the rate of defection, for most people that we see around, after the first experience, a lot of organizations do not get feedback about what their downside or upside is with their product or services. A lot of us do not have formal consumer feedback systems that help us know what clients want us to do better. And when we don't do this, we see that most times we suffer a lot of customer or client or consumer attrition. They take your product for the first time and then they're gone. If you remember what the consumer purchase funnel is, of course, after your awareness, then there's consideration, there's trial, there's purchase. However, between purchase and loyalty, it's a little segment which is the repeat purchase. And that's what keeps us in business. If consumers purchase your product or purchase your service and there's no repeat purchase, then they cannot be migrated to become loyal to your product or service. And therefore, companies and organizations, especially SMEs, need to focus strongly on this. Yes, it's good to look for new people to grow the business. However, if we manage existing clients and existing customers properly, we're likely to do better and likely to grow a strong brand that is able to outcompete competition in the long run. So first and foremost, we need to reduce the rate of defection. And in knowing this rate of defection is we need to be able to understand and define what is the retention rate. Understand why customers leave us, which is called the customer attrition. Why are they leaving? Do they like our service? Do they have a problem with the product in itself? Is there a distance problem? All this we need to understand. Understand clearly why customers are leaving or why they're not coming back for a repurchase. The other thing is we need to increase our customer relationship. We need to treat them as partners, especially in B2B businesses, which is people who service organizations. You need to know the key decision makers. You need to go beyond transactions to understand them, understand their families, ask about their welfare, see how you can support them on other levels beyond just the basic transactions that you do. The other is ability to enhance the growth of the share of wallet of a client that you have. All you have to do is ask them other offerings. For example, maybe you're a confectionery person and all you do is just cakes. You need to ask your clients, are you going to need other kind of confectionery like chin-chin, like buns? Do you have other events that we could give to you? Maybe you're an event company or your activation agency. You need to be able to ask your clients, do you do anything about printing? Can we do all of the flyers? It's just to ensure that you're offering them more that can give you a larger share of their wallet. And then next is making low activity customers more profitable. We see a lot of that being done currently with the banks. It's your ability to ensure that there's something called like a retention or sign-up fee. What banks have done of recent is to make sure that virtually all customers migrated, the low activity ones, make them pay some level of a service charge just for the year. It saves you a lot of time in trying to grow the low activity customers while you can do the final, which is focus on high value customers and give them a memorable experience. These are people that do a lot of transactions or do a lot of business with you, and you need to be able to give a lot of time to them. You need to be able to focus a lot of time to them. A wise man once said, he says, what it takes you to make $1 million is what it also takes in terms of effort to make 10 million or to make $1 billion. If then that is the case, you need to be able to look for a mechanism where we focus on our high level customers. And as a final note is to take us through the customer development process again. Remember, this is the process your people need to go through to have their customers. First, you're going to have potentials. You invest into them to become your prospects. After that, they become first-time customers. Most companies lose it at this point, but you need to ensure you stay close to them to make them repeat customers, turn them into clients, and then later become members. Members here, we're talking of membership clubs, loyalty clubs, and then you become advocates, whereby they're talking about your products, they're talking about your brand experience, they're talking about the services, and getting other people to patronize you. And ultimately, they become partners, whereby you can share your long-term future plans with them. And with partners, the amount of information they can give to us or support to our business is innumerable. I wish us success as we continue to do better in growing our businesses.
My brother, you see, for this our import and export business, not be who go China pass na be the issue. Now who you dey follow talk na im matter, Who you dey follow talk as how? The expert then we sabi the business of import and export in toto. People like Stanbic IBTC Bank.
Stanbic IBTC? Nah, person name be that.
Stanbic IBTC Bank na my bank, and then sabi my business well.
Announcing the arrival of Flight 220 from China.
Doing business in China? Come, let's talk about how our expertise and understanding of the import and export business will help you grow and trade smarter. With Stanbic IBTC Bank, you have access to import and export trade finance, letters of credit, telegraphic transfer, bills for collection, and other well-tailored trade advice that moves you forward. For more information, visit www.stanbicibtc.com or call our number 0700 2255 782 6242. Stanbic IBTC, moving forward.
Welcome back to Enterprise Stories. We have a very interesting guest in the house today. Mr. Femi Oderinde is the CEO of Steve Project Limited. You're welcome to Enterprise Stories.
Thank you very much, Wale. It's nice to be here.
So tell us, how did Steve Project Limited all start?
It started about 5 years ago, and I was alone, and then I got this idea when I discovered that there's so much opportunities in the country in terms of doing a lot of telecoms projects, in terms of doing a lot of power project. And I spoke to a lawyer about registering a company. We just went ahead and registered a company. It was then I thought, well, I didn't even have an office. My lawyer is also a new lawyer who just started practice. And he got a 3-bedroom apartment as his office. So I spoke to him and said, look, can you give me a room there? He said, oh, you're going to pay for it. I said, okay, that's fine. I'll pay for it. And that's how I started all alone, sharing a room with my lawyer. And we began from there. At some point, when the volume of work was getting up there, I had to recruit an admin manager. And then he came in to assist me. Then at some point, I started facing the challenges of normally what all startup will have to face. How do you meet up client appointments? How do you meet up delivering your service? And one day I was going through the papers and I saw this SEM, Certificate in Entrepreneurship Management, that the EDC was organizing. So I said, this could be interesting. I saw a lot of opportunities there in terms of the kind of training and skill sets that I feel at that point I don't have. So I decided to go for it. And then after that training, it was an eye-opener, because before then I'd make a lot of assumptions about so many things. And I discovered that was where my challenges were coming from. I didn't do a lot of forecasting. I didn't know how to do a lot of budgeting and how to organize your sales. And then after that training, it was like my eyes were open. And I said, wow, what have I been doing? So I went back to the drawing board, and I discovered that I need to create an organogram. I need to have organizational charts. I need to have a vision. I need to have a mission statement for the business. I need to have core values. What exactly are we trying to achieve?
If you're just joining us on Enterprise Stories, we're here with Mr. Femi Oderinde, the CEO of Steve Project Limited. And he's quickly put together for us what he's been doing with Steve Project Limited. But I would like for you to share with our listening audience, what do you do at Steve Project Limited? What service do you offer?
Steve Project Limited provides services to the telecom sector and the power sector. We have as some of our clientele the likes of MTN, Etisalat, Huawei, NSN, Glo, and the rest of them. And we also provide a lot in terms of power. We're working currently with the federal government on the current power reform that is ongoing.
Okay, I mean, these are really big projects, and you started from that one room.
Yes.
You know, it's interesting that listening to what you shared in the last few minutes about how you have grown and the impact that the training has had on you. Anyone listening to you right now would be saying, wow, I mean, this program, yeah, it has done something. But beyond the program, there are some things that you yourself had put into this business. Can you share some of these things with us so that we'll be able to get the picture? Now, for example, how were you able to get yourself into those places to be able to get those kind of contracts that you have?
What is interesting is that if you have to be very courageous, and you must have tenacity. With courage, you should believe that there's nothing impossible for you. And when you get into a client, especially for the first time, of course, you must be prepared that, look, no matter what they say, even if they reject me, I'm still going to go back. And if you are able to package yourself properly, the most important thing is that people want to solve their problems. And if you can present yourself that you are a solution provider and you can convince them, definitely they will want to work with you. Having seen the sincerity that is inside you, but you have to be very, very courageous. You must have a strong vision, and then you must have tenacity to be able to go forward.
And all this is done ethically,
yes,
of course.
Yes.
Now, another interesting thing is your company name used to be Steve Power Project. I mean, a few times before we came on air, I kept referring to you as Steve Power Project. You kept correcting me. But what led to the change?
Yeah, we found out that if we are just limited to power, we are going to limit the scope of what we can do. And it actually came in from some of our clients, because beyond power, they ask you, what else can you do? And we say, oh, well, we can provide engineering solutions. We can solve telecoms problems. If you can't get signals on your phone, we know how to resolve the issue. And these are things that brought us. And then we now sat down and look at it and say, look, let's not limit ourselves. The scope is very wide. If you say project, anything can become a project. You know, I mean, talking to you at this discussion is also a project. Yes, it is a project. Yes. Yeah. So Steve Project can actually come in and do something here for you.
Okay. Now, something very interesting. I'm going to take you back a bit. Now, Steve Project Limited, you've been running this for how many years now?
It's about 6 years.
About 6 years. Now, I want to take you back 7 years before Steve Project Limited started. What were you doing? And what was that brainwave? I know earlier on you said you were sitting one day, you thought about it, but what were you doing before that time?
Yeah, I'd worked with Nigerian breweries. I am an engineer, right? I worked as a packaging engineer. I rose to become a packaging manager before I left, and then I joined the telecoms industry as a network support manager, and I rose to become a regional technical officer, like a CTO, managing a particular region. But beyond that, I've always had the entrepreneurship thing in me because my father is an entrepreneur, and my mother is also an entrepreneur. So right from when I was young, it's always been about doing business. I've always thought about one day I'm going to be a businessman anyway. So, and the all through even my working life, the idea of owning my own business had always been in my mind. But the truth is, I just don't know how to go about it until the vision came, and then I had this opportunity of training. I was lucky because I was part of SEM 2. SEM just started about a year. I think they've just done the first set. I was part of the second set, and that was quite interesting.
Okay, if you're just joining us on Enterprise Stories, you have been listening to Mr. Femi Oderinde, the CEO of Steve Project Limited, and he's been sharing with us how he's always known he was going to be a businessman. Now, it's all well and good, but what are some of those challenges that you've experienced running your business in the last 6 years? And how have you been able to overcome them?
The challenge had always been people. People in the sense that the school system we have in this part of the world do not have the skill sets that are necessary for startup, especially when you employ people. So the challenge had been, and one of the ways in which we have gone about resolving this is to do a lot of training, a lot of capacity building. When you recruit a graduate nowadays and they come with a BSc in economics or something, the school system, the format is different from a workplace system, and you have to just fill in the gap by doing a lot of training. I mentioned earlier that I've got to send some of them even to EDC for some courses and training. That has really helped. That's been one of the challenges, right? For finance, well, maybe a little challenge, but I found out that if you have the right service or the right product and it's clear that this is gonna sell, the banks are ready to really support you.
Okay. In rounding up on the story segment with you today, did you have at any point any reason to approach the financial institutions to provide any kind of support for you?
Yes, I've had to.
And what was that experience like?
No, it was actually nice. Maybe at some point what I didn't understand was how to package yourself to them. But the truth is this: if it's clear that you have a product that will sell and your ideas are good and you have your business plan, they are really, really willing. Now, the only way is how you package. And that's what I think a training like the one from EDC did for me, because I now know I can write a business plan, a 5-year plan, a 3-year plan, and you can tell the bank and say, this is what I want to do. Of course, there might be a few objections, but by the time you convince them, they're really willing to really support you. And that's been my own experience. Anyway.
Okay, fantastic. Now, your business has witnessed phenomenal growth in the last few years. I don't want to mention figures on air so that people don't come looking for you. So, I mean, I know that you've done about 300%, in terms of your revenue increase. How have you been able to cushion this in your business? How have you been able to manage this growth?
Well, managing growth can be sometimes challenging. That's the truth. But what is important is a personal philosophy which I've always used. Keep it simple. I try to keep everything simple.
Yes, my professor taught me that.
Yes,
he taught me how to kiss. KISS. Keep it simple, stupid.
So as much as we've seen fantastic growth, we try to keep ourselves very, very simple. Even in outlook, in the way we do and all that, we don't make so much noise. That's the truth, because it's a personal philosophy actually. But I think it's just been fantastic anyway.
Fantastic. It's been wonderful having you on Enterprise Stories, Mr. Femi Oderinde. Listeners, if you are just joining us, we have just finished talking with Mr. Femi Oderinde, the CEO of Steve Project Limited, and he has told us to keep it simple. That has been his own success for managing his growth. You're welcome. Thank you for coming to share your story with us on Enterprise Stories. We'll be right back after this short break.
When you are successful in your small business, as I am, people will always come to you. They want to know what you're doing differently, who your bankers are, and what kind of deals you are getting from them. Well, I'm happy to enjoy all the benefits of the SME Zero COT account from Stanbic IBTC Bank. My profit is up. But why? Because I get zero COT, unlimited turnover, no limit on check lodgement or withdrawals, free internet and telephone banking, as well as discount on training courses for small business owners. With special benefits like that on the SME Zero COT account from Stanbic IBTC Bank. Now, there is no reason why your business won't boom just like mine.
Stanbic IBTC Bank, moving forward.
You're tuned in to Enterprise Stories, brought to you by Stanbic IBTC and Enterprise Development Center of the Pan Atlantic University.
We are back. We're now in the analysis segment, and this is the segment where we analyze the story of the day. We've just listened to the story of Mr. Femi Oderinde, the CEO of Steve Project Limited. Victor, you've heard the story. What's your take?
Thank you, Wale. A very good and inspiring one from Femi. I mean, Steve Projects is doing a good job. And for me, the first thing I picked in the first few minutes was his ability to anticipate demand and see how he will feel and satisfy this demand in the marketplace in a profitable manner. What other way can be better to summarize the concept of marketing, which I enjoy to talk about, which is defined as your ability to analyze, anticipate, and also see how you satisfy this in a profitable manner. That's what he did. He looked around and saw there were projects to be managed. Of course, as we're having telecom and power industry growing, he saw that. And basically, that's the first thing for entrepreneurs. You must clearly understand where is the gap in the marketplace. What problem am I coming to solve? It's not, like he said, it's not just about coming to make money. It's just not coming to be one of the wannabes or a Joneses. It's trying to say, this is the opportunity. I want to satisfy this opportunity. And finally, the key word is I want to satisfy this opportunity profitably long term. He saw that. And of course, he went ahead to do that. And this gave back to this wonderful organization of his that's solving projects and growing in leaps and bounds and employing people. And I think it's a good one. We need to commend them for that. However, also, entrepreneurs need to understand the kind of industries they play in. If you operate in a kind of industry where you're interfacing strongly with what you call B2Bs. B2Bs means you're business interfacing with businesses, which you are not talking to end consumers. You need to understand the importance of growing the competence of your people, which I was excited about. The way he went about it. You are dealing with knowledge workers. Knowledge workers here are not people who are working through machines. It's not an automated system. You are depending on their intellect. You are depending on their competence. You are developing on their ability to take initiative. He understood the importance of growing their capacity, because ultimately, I will delve into marketing. You always remember, I'm a marketing person. Ultimately, it's these people that keep your brand promise. It is these people that reinforce your brand promise. It is these people that live your brand promise. Therefore, they must understand your brand promise. They must understand what you want to do there. There was a mission statement. He was able to get his team to appreciate what he was trying to do and get them to understand it by growing their capacity, sending them for trainings, and together they are now able to build a brand. An organization finally offering service of value is perceived as a brand, and your brand could either be strong or weak. By building his people, he was able to develop a strong brand that, he now began to even have capacity issues whereby there were so many jobs and he could now outsource. He understood the consistency of keeping your brand promise, and even he made forward to say that even people were subletting too, we ensured that they understood our brand promise, they understood our mission statement, so that they could also live with the same. This is important because ultimately, for us to have long-term sustainable businesses, we must build brands. And brands, whether service brands, whether organization brands, whether consumer goods, whether products as brands, these brands, the full interpretation is just ability to keep your promise to your consumers and clients on what you say you will do, and ability to keep it consistently. That is the brand, and that is what he's been able to do. And of course, like I said, he understood the environment. So instead of staying just in power projects, he moved into general projects. And this is crucial for entrepreneurs to consistently grow their businesses. Scan the environment. See what opportunities are there. See how you can satisfy those opportunities or fill those opportunities or take advantage of the opportunity in a profitable manner sustainable long term. And if we're able to do all this and take learnings from some people that have done it in time past, I mean, the sky can only be the starting point for us. So Femi did a fantastic job, and we should commend him. And we're quite happy about some of this inputs he got from EDC. And we encourage other people to take this leverage to be able to structure their businesses properly so that they can consistently deliver their brand promise. Thank you very much, and I wish us the best as we grow our organizations.
Thank you, Victor, for your analysis. Listeners, we've come to the end of Enterprise Stories. And if you've missed this episode, please log on to edc.edu.ng. I'll take that again, edc.edu.ng, and you can download this week's episode and other episodes. Please also take time out and give us feedback of your views and questions, and we will be happy to reply them. Until next week, have a blessed one. Join Enterprise Development Center of the Pan-Atlantic University, formerly known as the Pan-African University, as we celebrate 10 years of entrepreneurship development in Nigeria. For questions and comments, please email edc@pau.edu.ng or log on to Enterprise Stories on nigeria.smetoolkit.org for useful resources and articles to help grow your business.